All right, friends. Hi, welcome back. Welcome back to the show. Today we're diving into one of the most important and also one of the most terrifying parts of growing a business, which is raising your prices. But not only raising them without losing a single client. So I talked to so many fitness coaches, so many health coaches, and this is what holds them back. And here's the thing, it's not only hurting your bottom line, it is draining your energy, your team, if you have one, your resources, and your impact. So in this episode, I'm breaking down how to shift your mindset, how to actually communicate your value so you can charge more, and implement price increases along the way that feel really good for you and that get client results. So let's get right into it. First, let's talk about price versus value. I want to clear something up. Most people get this wrong. Price and value are not the same thing. This part is very important. Please listen. Value is what you believe your offer is worth. Price is simply what someone pays to access it. So the moment that the perceived value dips below your price, that's when clients or prospects start saying things like, it's not worth it. They're saying that in their head. Usually they make up an excuse. My husband doesn't want me to do it. I can't afford it, whatever. But here's the thing. Here's the kicker. Lowering your prices doesn't fix that problem. I promise you. Even if you lower them to $6, people will still say that. But raising your value will fix the problem. So the first mindset shift here is this. Your price should reflect the transformation that you offer, not what the coach down the street is charging. The old way of pricing services, we would look around, we would say, what are other people charging? And we would either match them or go slightly under. This leads to a race to the bottom. This is why $0 online workouts exist everywhere. So don't play that game. Don't play in the market of everyone. Play in a market of one. Find a way to be incomparable. So that's kind of phase one to this, is understanding price versus value. Phase two is why undercharging hurts. Let me drill this in really quickly so that you're on board with me to raise prices. Here's what really happens when you undercharge. Clients become less invested. They didn't put much money down, so they're just like, I'm just gonna kind of show up when I want to show up. They don't value your work subconsciously. They assume that, well, if it's cheap, whatever, I don't have to treat it that well. It must not be that good. Client results suffer. The less invested they are, the less action they take, the less transformation they get. And ironically, these clients, the low-paying ones, are the most demanding. They're often the ones that drain you the most. And worst of all, right, you cannot reinvest back into your business. So you have no money and no time and no energy to improve your service or to grow your team or to create more impact or raise the value, like I talked about in step one. So when you raise your prices, lots of great things happen. Clients become more committed. They get better results. They are more respectful of you, your time, your advice. You have then more capital to reinvest back in the value so that people then want to pay more. And it just makes business feel 10 times lighter and 10 times easier. So let me break down the math behind getting in this mindset. Quick pricing lever that might blow your mind, or you might be like, Erin, that's common sense. Let's say you have 50 clients that are paying $100 a month. That's $5,000, right? Okay, now imagine raising your price to $500 a month. You would need 10 clients to make the same $5,000. That's just 20% of the client roster we were talking about before. 80% of your clients and 80% of your workload and still make the same amount of money. And I know this is a podcast about doing this without losing a single client. We will talk about that, but I just think this point is really important. And a lot of times people are like, just raising my prices out of the blue, that doesn't feel good to me. Look, it's not about gorging people. It's about buying back your time, your energy, and your ability to scale for all the reasons we just listed above. It's about the client and it's about the value of your service and making it better. So how do you raise your prices without losing clients? Let's talk some strategy. And I hope you're taking notes because I'm going to talk fast. Hermosi always says, I talk fast, so listen fast. And I think that's hilarious. But anyway, step one, decide whose prices you're raising. Let's say you already have a roster of clients. You're undercharging. Whose prices am I going to raise? By how much am I going to raise them? This is not a one size fits all thing. So if someone's paying $100 and your new rate is $600, maybe you raise them to $300. If someone is paying $300 and they're super easy to work with, they're not demanding, they're like a great unicorn client, no rush, right? You don't have to raise their rates right away. Use context, right? How long have they been with you? How committed are they? How much value are they getting? And think, okay, who am I raising them for? How much? And then decide how you're going to deliver this news to them. We teach 2 ways to do this inside of IFCA. So choose your method. Method 1 is the resell call. So if they are up for renewal, you can simply anchor your new price and then give them a loyal client discount. So super easy conversation at the end of the resell conversation, which if you're not having resell conversations, we have an entire framework for this inside of IFCA. This is like one thing you'll say, but you want to get all the rest of it right so that this part actually lands. But anyway, you would say, hey, my rates are now $600 a month, but since you've been with me for a while and I love working with you, I'd love to just honor $350 a month for the next round. Like, you're not just going to say the next round. You're going to show them the transformation. You're going to get them bought in, committed to the next 9 months, 12 months, 6 months, whatever that looks like for them. That's the whole part of the resale conversation. But then you just pitch a new, different price because you've already shown more value. So that's how you can do it. One way you can do it. If you are in a situation where you have a bunch of clients who just pay you month to month, one, that sucks. And I hate when coaches are in that situation, but many coaches do come to us in that situation. There is a better way to do it. But let's do step 1 and raise their rates. You can do it with a simple VSL, aka video sales letter. So what you're going to do is draft a thoughtful message that includes your mission and your vision, a recap of what they have received, a preview of the new value to come in your offer, and their new rate, which again, you can anchor to a full price and then soften it, and then a warm invitation to reach out. And so when we share this framework with students with an IFCA, it's pretty close to just like us doing it for you because we give you the whole template, the whole framework, everything to say. It's like, just plug in your stuff. You do it in a Google Doc, and then it's just a Google Doc sales letter, but only send the video. You're going to record a video of it, only send them the video. The video keeps things very humid and connected, and they come to you if you have any questions. Don't just send them a long document explaining how you're going to raise their prices, or an email. That's not the way you do this. So, all right, next question becomes, well, what if people say no? Like, this is the thing that holds people back, entrepreneurs, fitness coaches, health coaches, from doing this the most. What if they say no? What if someone leaves? And here's the truth. Someone might. And I know this is a podcast about doing this without losing a single client, but is losing a bad client really that bad? Because usually what happens is your lowest paying, least engaged clients, the ones who are like, you know what, I was just kind of doing this because like I wasn't really even noticing it hit my bank account a lot. They were hardly listening to your advice anyway. They've been with you for a long time. They're just like, you know, it seems like a good time for me to transition and move on. I won't take advantage of the new value. Do you really want that client anyway? Is that ethical when you know you can help somebody else? And when you're actually going to make more revenue in your business from the people who decide to stay, right? Remember the example I showed earlier where I was like, look, you can lose 80% of the people you're working with and make the same amount of money. So it's not going to impact your business. It's possibly going to impact them because they're not getting the value and they're not getting the transformation. So it is actually not the end of the world to part ways with some clients. You will have that happen. You will have other clients. I know when I did this, back in the day, I had clients who literally said to me, well, Erin, it's about time. I felt like I've been robbing Erin Diamond Fitness for years. Or I swear that's a quote. I had someone else who said, I'm so excited about this new value and new opportunity to work in a different capacity. Hell yeah, I'll pay more for that. You've been, servicing me and doing a great job for X amount of time. It's not that scary. Right? Remember this shift, it doesn't have to be about losing people. It's about serving people at a higher level, getting your time and energy back. And the people who value you will stay. And they will show up refreshed, renewed, excited because there's this new thing in front of them now with a new price point. Like, a lot of times that's just what people need on their fitness journey to keep going. So that's a wrap. I hope this was helpful on how to raise your prices without losing a single client, even though you might lose a client, but you're going to make more money. If you're ready to take action, your next step is super simple on how to do this. I want you to just audit your current clients. I want you to decide what each of their new rate is going to be. I want you to choose how you're going to deliver that advice. Why do I keep saying that? It's like advice. It's not advice to raise your prices. I want you to choose how you're going to deliver that news to them, whether it's the VSL or the resell call. And if you want help with any of this, all these frameworks exist in IFCA. We can walk you through it step by step. I mean, I really, really do encourage you to have help with it because you can mess it up. We would love to help you with it. You can always book a free strategy call with our team and we can walk you through this very painlessly. But just remember that raising your prices is not greedy. It is leadership. It's honoring your value so that others can do the same. So, all right, until next time, go out there, charge what you're worth. See you guys.